Hi-dally-ho, neighborinos. It's that time again. It's time for the Neighbor Ladies. You're listening to the Neighbor Ladies here on the Alive and Social Network. I'm Colleen. We've got our other favorite Neighbor Ladies here. We've got Boston.
Hey, good afternoon, good morning. What day is it? Love to be here.
We've got Karen J.
Good evening.
And we've got Suzanne.
Hi.
Hi. All right. And Grant. Hi,
Hello.
Grant.
Hey, Colleen.
Hi. Grant, our handyman. He keeps us in check. He keeps keeps this thing rolling. Okay, you guys. On Saturday. What day is it today? On Saturday.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Activists affiliated with the Black Lives Matter movement interrupted a Bernie Sanders rally in Seattle to criticize his campaign for paying insufficient attention to issues of criminal justice and race. Dun, dun, dun. Does this sound familiar? Because something similar happened last month at the progressive conference Netroots Nation. Black Lives Matter protesters interrupted a town hall meeting with Sanders and fellow Democratic presidential candidate Martin O'Malley. Martin O'Malley, he's 50. The activists didn't feel that Sanders, and just as importantly, his supporters, are keeping racial justice front and center. Sanders has become a progressive hero for his economic populism, but at the beginning of his campaign, he talked about racial inequality, if at all, as a symptom of economic inequality. And to Black Lives Matter activists and sympathizers who spent the last year or more calling attention to the deaths of young black men and women, many at the hands of police, Sanders' this attitude towards race was all too familiar. Generations of white progressives have kept economic issues at the center of progressivism and issues that affect mostly non-whites at the margins. They've challenged Sanders to make racism and mass incarceration as important to his campaign as Social Security. So what do you think, you guys? I feel like it was ultimately a good thing, personally, because... yeah, Bernie's fighting the good fight, but it's not just an economic situation. This is...
I mean, initially I didn't like how they just interrupted it or whatever. I don't know, but I understand why they did it, and it's important and it worked. It was effective. I just think, there's other ways to go about it, maybe. I don't know. I can't see them getting away with that if Hillary...
Well, they wouldn't, which is why they did it at Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, that's exactly, I think, why they did it, and I think it was well thought out of, because it's more of a Democratic group, and they're leaning that way, and they're like, okay, we got to get the word out. This campaign isn't really focused on the issues. Who do we have the best chance with to become our voice and to start that type of conversation? And I think it was brilliant. I mean, although I like Bernie, I think it was, it had to be done, and I think a lot of good will come out of it.
Good has already come out of it, hasn't he? Didn't he just hired a Black Lives Matters spokesperson?
Yes, somebody,
right?
Yeah.
He's a spokesperson, right?
He did. Mm-hmm.
So that's going to keep him on point.
So now he's got the black vote and the millennial vote.
I think part of this... go ahead.
You can't say anybody's got any one vote altogether, but I like that. I like that he listened.
He recognized the problem. He brought that person in as a solution to represent that group, and I think
that speaks volumes. Because
Yeah.
I think if it happened at a Hillary
Yeah.
deal, it would just get hushed up, or maybe it would not get hushed up, but it would be like, oh, they're taking away from this and they're taking away from that. There wouldn't be any of her saying, oh yeah, that's concerning to you? Well, let me do this.
How can I listen to you
mean?
better? I think
Right.
she would just reply right now with, hey, send me an email. Everyone else is.
I think Bernie Sanders, he's going to be 74 in a couple weeks. And he was, he participated in the March on Washington. He's been an activist for a long, long time, and I think a big part of this is just in how he was captured through words. I think it has a lot to do with being PC. And taking PC maybe a little too seriously. I think he's a good man. I think I think
So you think it was kind of bullshit that they did this?
I think it was complete bullshit.
Even though the how it's come out in the wash is that he's hired this woman. It's going to,
And he's doing that because of everything PC. You know, he's playing the game.
Yeah.
She's going to be a great spokesperson.
She'll
for
be a
him.
great spokesperson, and it probably will be good for him. But you know, once again, there's just so many layers of artificial bullshit attached to it. It feels like to me.
It's all a circus.
It is all a circus. Oh my God.
I mean, it's a circus, but I still respect the fact that he recognized it, he acted on it,
Yes.
and he got it done quickly. It wasn't done over a month's time.
He didn't think about it for ages.
Right.
Yeah.
He just
Right.
went, okay, let's just handle this, man. And that's what I really like. Yeah, there is a lot of circus going on. But I think the thing we need to look at with Bernie is you're bringing up some of the stuff that he's done. He's been around for a long time. And he has grassroots organizational
Absolutely.
skills that could be very beneficial to
Yes.
this election and pulling some things off. Whether
Right.
he's a serious candidate at the end of it or not, he's got that background that
He
we may
does.
need.
Yeah, I saw this meme on Facebook the other day, and I was just going to try to find it, but I think I'll just speak off the cuff here. It was a list of Bernie Sanders' top donators versus Hillary's top donators.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And for her, it's all corporations.
Sure.
And for him, it's all unions.
Yeah.
So it's corporations versus people,
Right.
right? So that'll tell you a lot right there.
Right.
Well, okay, so like I had this joke that I wrote the last election, and I think it would be really cool to bring it in right now between all the political candidates. And it's not so much a joke. I started thinking about this. And, okay, so you have a reality show with both sets of political candidates when we finally get down to the last four. And they have to show their survival skills in like an alligator rescue show. And that way, we would, first of all, they would love it because they're on TV and they all want to see their face on it. So we get Trump and his wife, and they have to come up with their own clothes, their own way of capturing the alligators and saving them. And they have to prove how it would be beneficial to society. And I know in the last election...
Are you high?
No, I'm not high, but I think a reality show, give them a test that is so outside. Let them create their own crap. Let's give them a scenario where they have to utilize all this talented BS. And I just think it would be hysterical. Okay, well, before we get down to the final election, America, Congress has voted and said you must participate in a reality TV show and prove your survival skills.
May the odds
Do you
be
know-
ever in your favor.
No, do you know
Like a
the
Hunger
do you,
Games.
do you know
Yeah.
the show on the Weather Channel where the fat guys are dropped off to see if they live in the
No,
forest? This
that
is
sounds
a
like a
great,
great
show.
diet plan.
No, but it is.
I
okay?
wanna do that show.
And they're left with. I mean, I think they give them like a match or something, and they have to go out and kill their own
Square
food with a
of toilet
stick.
paper.
Think about it. Think about it too. I just okay. I mean, I've gone off on a tangent, but no, I just think that
This whole show is about tangents. I like it. When we come back, is our political system corrupt? You're listening to the Neighbor Ladies.
Meet your neighbor lady, Suzanne. Suzanne, if you could protest anything, what would it be?
Evangelicals. Their existence.
Meet your neighbor lady, Karen J. What would be the one thing you would protest if you could protest anything?
Black cats' lives matter.
Oh.
It's important to bring awareness because in the feline community, black cats are discriminated against.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah,
They're
they
so
are.
pretty.
They're unlucky.
And they're just like any other cat, except for their first 8 lives were taken by police brutality. So,
I have a black cat, Rose.
black cat lives matter, people.
Okay. Wow.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think dinner later. Well, let's talk about these cats.
Yeah.
Meet your neighbor lady, Boston. Boston, if you could protest anything, what would it be?
The two-party political system in this country. Change it, baby. Change it.
Amen.
Meet your neighbor lady, Colleen. And Colleen, what would be the one thing you protest if you could protest anything?
I would like to. Well, the good thing is that I'm an American, and I can protest anything I want to, and I have the right to gather myself and anybody else that sees fit to join with me, and we can protest anything. And right now, I would like to take a stand against outrage.
All
I
right.
am outraged about outrage.
Yes.
I am outraged about ridiculous outrage.
Yes.
Because it's all a smokescreen. When you're outraged about shit that doesn't matter,
Right.
Black
Right.
lives do matter, but when you're outraged about shit that doesn't matter,
Yes.
it creates smoke. You're just blowing smoke out of your ass at that point, and it creates this
Absolutely.
huge smoke screen, and then you can't see anything.
You can't
stop
see-
with the
yeah.
outrage.
You can't
Yeah.
solve the problem because of the smoke.
Also,
Right.
yellow lives matter too.
Oh, totally.
Yellow lives
totally.
matter too.
White lives matter. Brown lives, well, they matter too.
All lives matter, but you get where the
Yeah.
Black lives matter. You get what they're saying. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Whew, welcome back. You're listening to the Neighbor Ladies, and going on this two-party political system that you want to fix, Boston. I want you to talk about that. Is our political system broken?
Yeah, I think it is.
Is it corrupt?
Yes, definitely corrupt.
Tell me what you think about that.
It's corrupt when you think about the amount of time we spend on the election process and the amount of money that is spent on the election process.
Yes.
And, the president gets in office for his first term. He spent a lot of time getting there. And then, 6 months in, it's time to work on the next campaign. Okay,
Right.
so where's his job description? And, okay, so tell me that you're not going to take money from the people that are going to back you during this whole 8-year process. We're setting people up to have to participate in that. That's corrupt. The actual dollar amounts that we spend on this and the insane amount of time mentally as a country that I'm getting way too serious, but
No,
we spend so much time mentally on this election process. Meanwhile, I'm just thinking of...
I'm getting outraged.
Yeah, I'm getting outraged too. When I think about it, and when you think
Now
about...
I'm outraged.
Well, and then you think about it, and then we have food shelves going, hey, it's summer, and we don't have enough food,
Right.
but you're going on vacation. And then we got, we had that GOP thing last Friday night, the debate, and then we're spending, so how much money is involved in that? And we've just started. What do we got, another 18 months till the election, and we got to listen to this? I am outraged. And halfway, and I will say 45 minutes into the GOP thing, my kids looked at me and said, this was a nice family event. Let's go do something. We went upstairs and played a game, because it was like, there's nothing more that's going to change on tonight's show. We know Trump is the focus. We know Jeb's going to get a one-liner. And we know Scott Walker's cute. That's what we learned. But corrupt, absolutely. It's corrupt that Trump was made the center of attention. It's corrupt that so much of our mental health is tied into this crap. And, I'm like, okay, how do you change it? If you're a parent, you can change it parenting. If you're a real honest friend having a cup of coffee, look somebody in the eyes and go, like, seriously? Seriously? We're going to spend $1.5 billion on advertising? I'm just throwing that number out. I don't know the exact amount total that
more.
candidates are spending. But seriously, when you think about a school district where 1 out of every 4 kids is on the free and reduced lunch plan, and then, okay, great, we're going to go spend this money. We're the richest country in the world, and we have the poorest kids per capita. I could go on. And no, there isn't anything funny about that to me. We have 2 parties in this country. What does Britain do? They have a 6-week campaign period. That's when you can campaign. There are laws on what you can do in the media. Okay, we have freedom of press.
like
we
that.
could still work with that.
I like that too.
Wouldn't 6 weeks give those candidates time to get real
Absolutely.
and get serious?
Yeah.
I mean, and wouldn't more candidates want to do it if it was only 6 weeks?
Yes.
Heck, I could do. I've got enough vacation time maybe at the job. I could do it in 6 weeks. That's why I haven't really run. That's the truth. No. But
That's
you know what
perfect.
I'm saying? It's like,
Yes.
yeah, I feel passionate about this. I mean, God, what a bunch of crap, I
Well-
remember growing up, it was never like this, I
No,
mean,
it just seems to have amped
it wasn't
up.
like this.
I guess
Right.
I think it's corrupt because the first time George W. got in office, he didn't win the popular vote. He won the electoral vote. And I don't think that that's right. that you can become president when you don't even win the popular vote. And so we need to get rid of the Electoral College.
And really,
because that way
yeah.
people's votes actually count, and you'll get more people out voting.
Yeah, I like that. And Al Gore really should have been president, right? I mean, that was the deal
I
with
do
that.
like what Bernie said. It's that it should be a national holiday.
Yes.
It
absolutely.
Should be Election Day should be a national holiday so
Yes.
that more people should be able to get there and right.
Yeah.
Even though some people obviously would just take that day and be hungover or whatever, they wouldn't do anything with it. But still, you'd get more people.
But yeah, if they really knew their vote really mattered, they would go out and vote. But it's because of things like Bush getting elected when he didn't win the popular vote. Like, that shouldn't be able to happen.
The second time creeped me out.
That was
Everyone
so
was
creepy.
so
I
shocked
almost
by
started
that.
doing drugs again.
That's why
And seriously, Jeb Bush is a candidate for the GOP? I mean, didn't they think this
I know, that
through?
kind of creeps me
Is
out,
the
too.
past erased from the minds of the leaders of the GOP party? And where's McCain on this? You know what I'm saying? Where are some of the voices that, I mean, McCain looks like a reasonable guy now. Oh, I could go on at another tangent there. But he is 78, 79 years old now.
Right.
We won't talk about Bernie Sanders. I mean, he's 74. But anyways, I'm
That's
going.
like a
I'm
spring
going down
chicken right now.
Right now,
I mean,
yeah.
if he's somebody in good health. Depends on who his running mate is.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of old to be president.
I think it's...
haven't we had older presidents?
Reagan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Does
God's
anybody
sake.
But look
really
what happened
know
to him.
how
I mean, he
old
started to
he
lose his
is?
mind.
Oh, my
Well,
God.
Nancy really was running the country, don't you think? I mean,
Oh,
she had the red,
absolutely.
they had the red
Absolutely,
dress.
with her anorexia.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Hey,
And say no to drugs.
please pick a food issue, Nancy. Anything. And she was so thin. I can remember, they'd always show a shot of her right out next to Helicopter One there, and I thought, God, shut that thing off. That girl's neck is going to get sucked right into the blades.
Absolutely.
Please. Unbelievable. But it is corrupt. It is corrupt. And we could talk about Oliver North and the stuff that happened in '86 with Reagan.
Oh,
you could
please.
pick things out. I mean, blatant corruptness. But what do we want to do about it? What
I think that's a good break because when we come back, we are going to decide what we want to do about it. We're going to decide each neighbor lady. I'm going to ask you this question: what would you do if you got to be leader of the free world for 1 year? Only 1 year. When we come back, you're listening to the neighbor ladies.
Meet your neighbor lady, Suzanne. Suzanne, if you could have dinner with one president, dead or alive, who would that be?
I would have dinner with Jimmy Carter, and the reason I would have dinner with Jimmy Carter is because he stole a penny from the collection plate at church when he was 5 years old, and he got punished for that, but I give him a lot of credit.
He also had lust in his heart for women.
And he likes
Remember
jelly
that?
beans, right?
Jelly beans.
And I love
That
peanut
was
butter.
Reagan. Reagan liked jelly beans.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Reagan.
peanuts. Was it
Peanuts.
peanuts?
He was a peanut
He's a
farmer.
peanut farmer.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Meet your neighbor lady, Karen J. Karen J., if you could have lunch with one president, who would it be, dead or alive, and why?
It'd have to be Slick Willie.
Slick Willie.
He's hilarious. And I want to know the inside scoop on Monica Lewinsky. And also Hillary. Is she dabbling on the other side?
Meet your neighbor lady, Boston. And Boston, if you could have lunch or dinner with one president, dead or alive, who would it be?
It would absolutely be the person who, in my mind, should have been president way back in 2002, and that would have been Vice President Walter Mondale.
Absolutely.
Because I believe if Paul Wellstone had lived, it would have been a whole different turnaround. And I would love to have dinner with him. I had the opportunity to interview him for college radio way back when he was vice president, when I was 6. And I just think Minnesota's got a treasure there, and we're so lucky. Yeah, I was 6. I was such a high achiever doing broadcast news at WMMR, which is now AM 73. Now it's actually 950, which you may know of, Grant. Enough of me now. Thank you for listening.
Meet your neighbor lady, Colleen. And Colleen, if you could have lunch or dinner with one president, dead or alive, who would it be?
George Bush Jr. And here's why. Because I'd like to see if my spidey sense would be tingling. Because I always feel, and here's me, I always feel like I know when I'm in the presence of somebody that is trying to pull one over on me.
Yeah.
Or I feel like I know when I'm in the presence of somebody whose intentions are truly evil. and that guy made so many intentional moves and so many mistakes that I would like to have dinner with him, and I would like to see if my spidey sense would go off.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I wonder how much of it
Yeah.
really was through his thinking.
Right.
So I wonder. I think it would be an interesting conversation, and I wouldn't even be an asshole. I'd even make dinner. I'd make a nice dinner.
Or would Dick Cheney be silently sat at the table
I would
controlling
How come
it?
he's still alive?
I would.
We don't know, man. What heart medications are they using on this guy? You know, it's like,
He would be
Can't afford
he'd
it
be
with our
fun to play
insurance.
paintball with, wouldn't he?
oh my god,
He'd
run,
just
Dick, run!
explode.
Here it comes. You know. Oh god.
Oh my ass.
He
Welcome
gives
back.
just hunting season would be so much more fun with him around.
I know.
With your Nerf gun?
Oh my God, my Nerf gun! Yeah, somebody gave me another one. I got a big one, and then one of the other neighbors gave me one of those big water soakers. So I'm having some
soaker.
fun. Super
Oh,
soaker,
yeah, I
right?
love those.
In the hood,
Yeah.
and they haven't called the police on me, so it's good.
I always wanted to write an action film that was set in a grocery store where there's a battle, or no, set in a super Target, and then somebody, like, it's regular people taken hostage in a Target, right? And then somebody gets the super soaker and fills it with a jug of olive oil. And when the terrorists are running, then they super soak the floor, and it's like mayhem. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm liking
Thought of
that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I want to write that.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Oh, politics. Hey, you guys. So the political system is corrupt. I think we figured that out last segment. But now we get a chance in Pretend Town. We're going to Pretend Town. That's the Pretend Town sound.
That's like every day in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm there a lot.
I know.
Suzanne, I've just elected you president.
Oh,
But you only get to be president for 1 year.
1 year.
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna do Matterhorn Mountain for a year. That's what I'm gonna do.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
You're going to
just
go on
gonna-
a vacation
just
for
I
your
gonna
whole
know.
term?
I'm not going to go to Disneyland. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to let people ride on Matterhorn Mountain for a year, nonstop, and see what
No,
happens.
You don't have any answer for that. Did you ever think when you were a kid, I could be president? I want to be president. Here's what I would do.
I never did.
Really?
Never wanted to be president. No.
But okay,
No.
so I've either blessed you or cursed you with this,
Yeah.
and you have to do something. So you're
I have
president.
to do
So
something.
what are you going to do?
What would I do?
Yeah.
I would bring Jimi Hendrix back to life.
Okay, you got to think
Yes.
about it. I'm going
Yeah.
to go to Karen
Oh.
J.
We can bring people back to life?
No, you
I was
can't.
gonna say Tupac.
You get Karen J. I've made you president. What are you going to do? You get to be president for a year. 1 year.
I would put all of the homeless people in all the foreclosed homes.
Yeah, love it, love it.
I would revoke all the driver's licenses of all the Somalian cab drivers.
That's not PC at all.
I know.
But as an Asian woman, I think you could do
I
that.
can do
I
that.
think you can do that.
Because
Right,
it's
because
not
you're
safe.
notoriously bad drivers.
It's not safe. It's just they're worse than Asians. The Mexicans, I don't know. I guess I just let them be. Since that's
Would you bring the Mexican
Yeah, like
into
how
office
you're-
with you?
You're
No.
divvying
No.
everybody up.
Would you dump him? Would you dump him for a better man? If you were
or a
president?
woman, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, maybe I'd make him be like security because he's pretty sneaky. Like, you know,
I
he
love
could be
that.
undercover as like the lawn maintenance guy, but then really he's security.
Did you see her eyes on that? Look at that. Look at those eyes. Man.
And also, pants would be optional in the workplace.
oh yeah.
All right.
That's
yeah, it could
about
be
it.
anything. All right, Boston. You're president for a year.
Okay.
I'm coming back to you, Suzanne.
Are you?
Yeah, we
yes,
gotta
I am.
go back.
You didn't
Oh, my
answer it.
God.
You have to answer it.
All right.
She sounded so CIA on her response. In fact, speaking of the CIA, the first thing I would like is to find out, are they really doing anything about ISIS? Because I think they're seriously an issue.
And what would you do, though? You're president for a year.
I would make sure the CIA is totally doing what they're supposed to do in that area, and I would want to make sure that we're solving the problem overseas by helping the countries where it is infiltrated, and I would want to see internationally other countries helping us help that problem, because I think right now we have an issue where we go over and we do something, and I'm not necessarily sure if people want us doing stuff,
Right.
I want to make sure who's playing the game, and are we really going to solve the problem there. And the second thing is I'm really concerned about global warming. And I know that's two very diverse issues, but I don't think anyone's really taken it seriously at the top. I don't think there's any action plan with our government. It's just we're attending meetings. A lot of meetings. I think Hollywood celebrities are spending more time getting stuff done. And, maybe it's time to look at that. And I know I'm all
agree.
over the road, but I haven't had a chance to write this job description.
No.
But I think those are two issues that could seriously annihilate the planet. I mean, ISIS is a very strong movement, and many, and we've seen it in our own Twin Cities, where there are people that are behind them, and we're not talking about that. It's like, oh, that'll just go away. Our government will take care of those people. And I don't know. I don't think that's Minnesota nice. I think it's people are
Like head in the sand.
head in the sand. Sorry about the desert pun there, but
I guess I didn't. No, I didn't.
You know what
I
I'm
was-
saying. But
I was
but seriously,
not-
they don't want to
not
think
what I
it's
was
an
trying to
issue.
say, but
no,
yeah.
but you know what I mean. So we're so that's what I would do.
It's
And
a figure of speech, damn it.
we got 1 year. No, I thought it was
Yeah,
pretty
I kn-
funny
I
myself, but those are two issues that I'm pretty passionate about because people are not looking at this. I mean, when you talk about taking, last week they take 15 women, put them in a cage because they wouldn't have sex with them and behead them, and we just kind of go on and listen, and we find out what the Kardashian family's doing in the next news article on the Yahoo trend. We got some issues, so I would want to work on that. Just to start, and I would also enjoy having dinner at the White House. I hear the chef is good. And I'm all about the food, girls. Let's get real, okay? I love the food.
I would hire Colleen to make desserts.
Oh my God, Colleen, wouldn't
Thank
it
you.
be? Yeah, who would you hire in that year too? Would you be?
I'd actually
would
hire
you?
somebody else to be president.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would have the opportunity, but they would be like the double secret president. And everything I said would sound amazing because it would actually be coming out of their mouth. I mean, I think I would trust my judgment to do the right thing, but I just wouldn't know how to get there.
Right.
See what I
Right,
mean?
right,
See
yeah.
what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You just have to know the smartest person.
Yes.
You have to have access to them.
Yes.
Michelle
what I like.
Obama, she's going to need a job soon, so she
Yeah.
could do that.
I'd hire
yeah.
her as my personal trainer because I want
Oh
those
my
biceps.
God, yeah. I'm like been working on the bingo wings, but still we'll stay with the longer t-shirts. Thank you.
The bingo wings. Oh, you guys.
Suzanne.
What?
Good talk. All right. I think this was really fun.
She didn't answer.
Oh, she didn't answer?
Suzanne, you got out of that question.
Yeah, but what question?
Oh my God! It's
We'll have to
you
save it for next
somebody
week.
feed
You were
her.
clean for a day.
We got to get her some dinner.
We will.
I can't believe you got out of it.
You got out of it this time.
Yeah.
Next time,
Yeah, and we didn't find
We're
out.
coming
about,
for you
we're
next
coming
time.
for ya.
Yeah, and we didn't find out about her secret sex life and fantasy. We, all of us went to the table
Oh,
on
come
that
on.
chick.
That's right.
Come
you
on,
know.
you didn't really go to the table on the fantasy.
Yeah,
thing
really.
either.
Did she
Come
said
on,
she
a
liked
man
the guy
in uniform. I talked intimately about
And then
my
she
husband.
also said that
My
they
daughter's
had
listening to this
costumes.
later. And she's
I know,
still,
but I know you're way kinkier than that, Boston. I just
Well,
know it.
I hope we have a
There's
few
layers.
more shows
there's
to
layers
explore.
to you too.
That's
I know
right.
it.
Will we
Thank
ever
you.
find out Suzanne's fantasies? Will we ever find out Boston's true political leanings?
Oh yeah, no
Next
kidding.
week on the Neighbor Ladies. Thanks a lot, everybody. See you next week.
Gonna go home and find a guy in uniform. Woo!